Welcome in, everybody. As we await the daily close this evening in about 1.5 hours, about 92 minutes from now, we have a bit of some developments that happen daily when it comes to the charts. We get a little more of a picture. We see it fill out a little bit more, especially in the micro. That'll allow you to get to the long-term macro goals. Right now, on the drop for XRP, we had a couple different things that could have happened. On that drop, we could have formed a symmetrical triangle. We could have formed a descending triangle, which would have been, bearish on this drop. However, and this isn't like, oh my God, it's a anything grand. But the fact that it's creating here, as we talked about it in the live earlier, but the fact XRP is building what looks to be a descending wedge here. These are actually bullish consolidations after a downturn. Or if you've had in a sense, I mean, we've had to move up and we formed this consolidation. This is a bullish consolidation. Now, does it mean it has to break out? No, it doesn't. Has it been very bearish up until this point? It has. But if you're asking me, with what it's setting up, just knowing what I know when I'm looking at a chart, even though we're in a downtrend, which, that weighs on us, because of where it's at, I'd say there's about an 82% chance we should break up at worst to $1.56. And my expectation, though, if this breaks up, I don't expect it to stop at $1.56. I would firmly expect that retest somewhere around that mid-$1.70 range. But it could obviously be cut off, at $1.56 because it's such an overwhelming resistance on that breakdown of this descending triangle. Where the hell are we at? Right here. But, we'll see how that reacts. We'll see how it reacts. But if it breaks down from here and doesn't continue out of here, that's an extremely bearish sign. The fact that you are showing a potential, and they don't always have to reverse. This could just be the first chance. But as in right here, where we had a symmetrical triangle downturn. Actually, this was a descending triangle right here. We formed a descending triangle. So you had flat support. So the lows were flat. You had lower highs simultaneously on a downtrend, which formed that descending triangle, which is very bearish. As to right here, when we came down and we came back around, we actually formed a bullish consolidation. This is actually a pretty bullish pattern on that consolidation right now, which is actually nice to see. We talked about it earlier when it was at $1.34. We said this is where we should start to springboard back because this is about as far down as we can go in this pattern. Because we briefly broke below it, but that generally happens. It's that overzealous tug to throw people off the scent kind of thing. And XDC, for what it's worth, put in a descending wedge right now as well. So we'll see if it holds. If it doesn't hold, like I said, if this doesn't hold and doesn't break out, it's extremely bearish. Because it's actually showing you a signal. Like, this could be an inverse right shoulder here as well. And that would show a lot of strength because of how high up it is. So, I mean, I'm kind of playing the contrarian view here. I know a lot of people just expect it to go straight down. I kind of see a descending wedge here. I mean, I could be wrong. And it's on a pole. So, and it's on an expandable broadening wedge for XDC. Like I said, I could be completely wrong. But with my nuts on the line, I'm not going nowhere yet. I think it's a trap to sell XRP at this very moment. I've been getting asked all damn day. No, you don't sell your XRP right now. Are you crazy? If it breaks down to descending wedge, so be it. But when you have a sustained downtrend and then you form this off of a flag, you'd be out of a flag pole, it looks like. You'd be out of your mind. Let this play, for God's sake. Everybody's so willing to get out of XRP so quick. Let me ask you a question, just like XDC. Assume you listened to me and you got out of the way a while ago now, even though it doesn't seem like a while ago. But now it's a while ago because of where we started. I mean, look where we were at just in July of last year. Imagine right now you got out of the way and you're sitting there, and instead of buying it there, it's 64% down now. You buy it, it go up to 8%, and you're like, should I sell? It's like, sometimes I just want to be like, I'm sorry, that's a friendly show. Your mother's scratching for that. You're waiting for a certain thing, and it's down 65% just from July. You hit a home run because it was down 70. It moves a fraction of a cent percentage-wise from where it was at 12 and 10 or 10 cents at that point, which was actually a little bit higher. And all of a sudden that's a descending broadening wedge. If you want to play the Inception style, that's a descending broadening wedge. Or descending broadening wedge, expandable wedge. Same damn thing. And then the smaller form is a descending wedge. Like, I'm not a rocket scientist, but if I was looking for a bona fide reversal in real time, this is exactly what I'd be looking for. You know, I don't mean to talk like a bobblehead, but it's true. Good evening. And I haven't even turned the comments on because personally, you know, I just wanted to get through what I wanted to get through, and I don't really care. You know, I don't care about the skeptics, the lovers, the haters. I love the lovers. The skeptics, you need to watch this evening because this one might hit home. Good evening. 5:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, February 11th, 2026. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Good evening. So, now that we did that long intro, I think we're on the same page. Unless this breaks down now it has to prove to us that we're going to go bearish. Because you finally, for the first time, and I can't even tell you how long, we can sit here and go, hey, it's not a descending triangle. Hey, it's not a symmetrical triangle. Hey, it's not this and that and that and this. It's a falling wedge, descending wedge. This is what we want to see, a descending wedge on XTC inside of a broadening expandable wedge. Pretty interesting. But they say technicals don't matter. Man, is it a boring time trading stocks, cryptos, Forex, miners, metals, oils, mutual funds, whatever your 4K is. Hell, maybe you want a nice growth or value fund. Whatever gets your boat rolling. But it's so much funner when you can see what's going on. Like, imagine sitting there in real time and not knowing. Okay, well, now we know. If it doesn't hold this, we are going down Schitt's Creek very quickly. No, I'm serious. If it doesn't hold this and it breaks down, oh, you know, it's over. But why look at it like that? Why not say we're looking for a pattern to develop here? We're looking for something that can make us feel good. And now that we find it, why do we got to look for the first thing that makes us feel bad? You see? See? It happens every time. Now I start to feel a little bullish in the moment, and then it starts to flip all of a sudden. Now everybody else is starting to get that overtly, oh my God, we better run and hide. I don't want to hide yet. I'll hide when it breaks down. How about that? How about them marbles? I'll hide when it breaks down. Other than that, I'm expecting it to go up. I'm planning for $1.56 on this next move if this breaks out. Stayed in the liquidity box beautifully. Remember we talked about earlier, if it comes down, we just come to the bottom. Guys, you remember when I put that liquidity zone in, if you guys have been watching, and this is not the brag, and I said, as long as it stays here, and that's as far down as you want to go, and I stretched it, remember, as far as I could, and I said, once you come down in here, you start to play down for that 5.27% drawdown. I know some of you were in here and remember. Put that there for a reason, because that's the perfect drawdown. That's the perfect spot to drag people out. Right to $1.34. I'm not a rocket scientist, but if it breaks down this, then it invalidates this wedge that was forming. Like, we didn't know it then if it was going to play out, but now it's starting to. We even got validation with another resistance tug. And you can take this even higher up if you want, but I don't know. I tend to think, I mean, I suppose you can do it like this if you want to do it in real time to make it tighter. But I don't mind coming through like this. I really don't. You know why? Because it forces it to do its job. And I think that's okay sometimes because that's what it did. It just had an overzealous wick a couple of times, in my opinion. Whoops. Shit. Well, we know that hit the wick perfectly on the bottom, so I can move it back. I'm glad I showed you guys at first. Then people will come on here and be like, oh, he's just moving it in real time, so it looks better. Actually, I just made this look worse because I fucked up what I was doing. Sorry. This has to be perfect. Otherwise, we're going to lose. You know what? I'm glad that happened. I'm really glad that happened because it's actually on the outside of it, and I didn't even realize it. Because if you go resistance, and then it's falling down like this, good old update switched it over a little. I didn't even realize it was over a little bit. Isn't that something? So technically, we're on the outside of it right now. Well, I'll be damned. Wasn't that something? Let's go to the other chart. Because if we look at it from that perspective, we're over the top. But if we look at it from this perspective, we're not. And I prefer to look at it from this perspective. But knowing that right now the reason it backed down like that is because technically from the front end, if we broke through the middle, but I tend to kind of like to look at it like this though, because it gives you the wider look. But we're developing something. Bitcoin, and notice the drawdown came right where it needed to. That's what makes me so excited. Even Bitcoin, when it came to 59, then we drew the drawdown and it hasn't come through. Yes, we broke down initially out of the symmetrical triangle, if that's what it is. And that's what it looks like. And I'm not going to draw it out from here down to here because that's not appropriate. Right now it's back testing. So we have to see what this does. And that's the appropriate level. And we even pulled it down just a little bit on Bitcoin to give us the appropriate range. And it got rejected in there. There's nothing we can do about it. And it still had more drawdown, but it almost came down almost the entire way. But that's a nice rounding right now. So now what we're looking for is maybe that this flipped a little bit. And that just maybe you could look at it like this, but if you look at it like this, well, you know, I don't know anymore. That looks like an expanding wedge right there as well, just from an opposite way. Well, that kind of makes things interesting. That makes things a lot more interesting, actually. That means Bitcoin's coming back up to test this resistance at 70,000. That might make it what we're looking for here for this next sudden move for XRP up to 156. Ooh. Yes. Yes. And I feel better because I know a lot of people are jumping off a cliff right now. I don't know. I haven't even turned the comments on. No offense. I apologize, everybody. Sometimes it takes away from what I do because then I don't say what I want to say, kind of thing. And then if I see how many people are in here, then I sometimes get discouraged when I see people leaving if I say the truth when I shouldn't. So I chose not to see how many people are in here. There could be 10 people in here tonight. I don't know. I already did a live earlier. I've done a couple of shorts. I did my class. There's a lot of stuff going through YouTube today. Like, I'm looking at some of this, and it's like, man, Tom, this came down a lot farther than some of the other ones. What's going on? You know what's going on? Like, is this a trap, a bear trap? And we're going to have this little momentum? Or are we getting ready to go down again? So I can't do anything yet. Got to wait. Remember what I say, don't jump the gun. With XRP, if that is in fact a descending wedge, it'll break out. If it's not, it'll break down. Unfortunately for Algo, and we'll see if this is the problem too. If you want to be overtly bullish, when you're in this kind of movement, everything might look fine and then it just breaks down. It can be artificially, but like, this is pretty much set up like XRP was, or is in the moment. And this broke down initially. So that's why you have to look at it and say, okay, I'm not selling it yet. That's the trap. You have to sell it when it breaks down and validates it. But if they follow this routine, then all of a sudden it might put it head and shoulders. We don't want to see this. So that's the question here this evening. Are they following algo? And we're going to fall out on all of these? Because as you know, when the trend is down, no matter what develops, even if it looks like a bearish or a bullish possible reversal, it's got to play out first before you can even trust it. We haven't gotten any volume, but this wouldn't necessarily be a volume push out. This would be a volumeless push out, most likely. Let me turn the comments on. I think it's been long enough. Miss Jan, thank you so much for being a member in Tom's Army for 50 months now with the XRP Phoenix badge. Over, holy crap, 4 years. 4 years and 2 months. That is unbelievable. Thank you so much for that long-standing support. Oh, yeah, big potential to still fall back sub-dollar. Even if this goes up, this is just part of the consolidation back up. We haven't changed anything yet. In order for us to think that maybe, just maybe, we righted the ship, we have to get over $1.77. Anything short of $1.77 and being on the top side, you can't even debate it. It's not even debatable. Once I get to $1.77, I go, you know what? Whew. Especially if some volume's coming in. But right now, even if it broke up, this would just be a minute push. And more than likely would just beat us back down. But it's not a guarantee this pushes up. It's just I can only report on what I'm seeing. Algo broke the same pattern down. Whether it's a facade and it's going to just come back, because it's possible that it was just an artificial breakdown and it was just there's too much overzealousness there in algo. When we look at H-bar, similar pattern, except it almost looks like a symmetrical triangle. So, you know, unless you come from here, which is probably what I would do if you're looking for the reset. And then you could get yourself into some kind of something maybe like this. You know, again, that's speculation, though, because we haven't even come up there a third time to tap this. And then that could even suggest a move to 9-1 and then all the way back down here to 8-6. Even if that is true. So, I mean, these patterns are evolving, but they do look like these are the typical consolidations you'd want to see for a move farther up. You had a low. This is what I would consider the capitulation of the drop down. Nice V shape. Comes through and consolidates in a wedge. That's what I would want to see. If I'm going to go up to the next layer. Like, that's generally what I would want to see. And then I would say, well, you know, everything looks good here. It's probably going to come up to 10 cents again. Be like an 11% move or so from where it's at. I got no problem with that. Across the board, 11%. 11 to 15. See how it reacts to that next major barrier of resistance. That's why I think V-Chain, when it's ready, if this is the time, because, I mean, look how this is set up. If V-Chain's ready to break up, V-Chain could be the biggest mover. It might be one of those that moves 20%. But it's going to be, when it moves, it moves. Like, yeah, we're in that channel, but it's evolving. If it moves, it moves. And it came, oh, shit. It came right down to that channel perfectly. At least that support, but it's evolving in real time. This pattern's evolving. Because I could make the case that you can do this, which is fine. But it almost, it makes me interested. Because if you actually look at this, I don't know if I would do, well, I might. Fuck, I might. Actually, now that I look at it, I absolutely probably would do that. I'm sorry, but these all look like bullish consolidations to me. And I might have hit my head hard yesterday, which I did. No, 2 days ago. Yeah. On Monday, right after I taught my class on Monday, I walked in and knocked myself right on the front of my head. On something in my kitchen, a sharp corner, and it had left a nice little bump there. But it's gone away, the bump, but it still hurts. So, maybe my head knocked me into some rational thinking. But this almost looks like we're about to get a quick burst out of here. I'd love to hear what everybody thinks. Inverse head and shoulders within a descending, and then a descending wedge forming on the shoulder. Longer the base, the higher the space, and that sideways consolidation will do us good, my friend. You are absolutely right. And everybody's like, well, Tom, what do I buy? What do I buy? I can't tell you what to buy. I'm not a financial advisor. But this is my strategy, as you guys know. So, I can't tell you what to do, but this is the strategy that I employ, as you know. And I don't know what's going to happen because these can break down. But we'll see what happens. But if you're asking what I like, you know, and I know it's inverted, I can't help that. That's just the way it goes. And it's kind of hard to see right now, isn't it? I think I can help with that. But, you know, when you go into markets like this, it's going to be volatile to the downside till it's not. And when you want to buy is not when it gets all the way up here, because you're going to want to buy it if a big green spike happens. You want to buy it in the perceived consolidation area. That's that's your buy zone. It's the tighter this range gets, and it can't get much tighter than this if it's going to break out. Man, I mean, if I was... It's crazy. It's crazy just how far V-Chain's fallen. I mean, it is crazy. You can literally buy $1 million for 7,600. Not too long ago, that'd cost you 20 grand for the same tokens. That is insane. Or 100,000 right now cost you $761. 100,000 used to cost you over 2 grand not too long ago. That is insane. There's not many people that are going to be hunting in this market. I can almost guarantee it. You know, you want to be a hunter when nobody's willing to hunt. Like, it's the truth. I say it all the time. When everybody's afraid to hunt, you want to be on the hunt. When everybody doesn't want to prowl, you want to prowl. However, there's a lot of risk to this. Because just like it looks like it could break out, this market is very bearish overall. So, you know, that's the bottom line. That's the truth. But as they say, no risk, no reward, right, folks? No risk, no reward. I just, even when you look at H-bar, look at H-bar, 8.92 cents. 100,000 is $8,920, just an example. 100,000 used to be, when it was just at 12 cents, that's 12 grand. When it was at 14, that's 14 grand. Like, that's insanity how far it's come down. Deexy, I haven't looked at Linnea in a minute. To be honest, I was letting this I was trying to let this go do its thing non-biasedly so that I could I tried to keep my focus on certain things because I thought I had a good strategy down for when these fell. And now, part of the strategy, I mean, you would have to have looked at it on the drops and this is another consolidation area where if you didn't buy it last time, once again, and the problem is here too, though, you still got to remember that the long-term play, there's a lot of issues still. You know, that long-term play, it's hard because of where we're at in the patterns. It's hard to make that play long-term because even if it goes up, at some point you expect it to get rejected even if it goes up. Now, if it was ever going to do anything, it's making that case right now that it's going to try something. We've got an hour and 7 minutes before the close. If Bitcoin could just make a little push here by the end of the day, about 800 points maybe, be something. It's going to take some work for this to it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. It's certainly not going to be easy. And it makes you wonder what things like this are doing because it came down now. It already came down. So that's what gets me like, okay, are we where's the spot going to be if it's going to reverse? Unless this is a setup and it doesn't have the strength and we get a quick reversal and it comes back within, because this could be an overzealous shot out, or I'm just looking at it wrong. I don't know. I don't think you could look at it like that. I think it was meant to be like this. It was meant to look at it like that. I kind of do. So now it would be up to it to break back to the top. However, if we're coming from here, suppose I could argue it was forming a channel to the downside. It's interesting. Dan says going on a run with my Bears brain. That's awesome. Don't feed the bears. Showing signs of exhaustion, most likely another dip into the pool. Are you mean like selling exhaustion or buying exhaustion, MQ? Hold up, Tom. See what you think. On the Telegram? Are you talking about on the Telegram, MQ? Hold on. I can only assume we dive in the pool. $1.34. So you're thinking we dive back down into the pool? I can't wait for quant fusion. Yeah, oh no, I don't know if we're going up yet. That's just a small setup, but the problem is algo seems to be telling us that maybe that's not going to happen in real time, you know? Algo is the one when you're looking at it in real time is like, you know, Tom, I've already broken down, buddy. So it makes it a little tricky. So if we break down this and we can't get out of this, it's a problem. Oh, this would be a problem. I can't even describe how bad of a problem this would be. I could see it sweeping those stops. Oh, I could see it big time. Oh, big time. I could certainly see that. Because I'm looking at these two. And if we did sweep, like it just depends which ones. Like if we sweep down. Who the hell's 24884? Hold on. Hello? The who? No, that's the wrong number. That's okay. Yep. But I'm curious. I mean, we don't have the volume, and what happens here is, if we break down here, it's catastrophic in a sense. If we can't hold the lower levels now, XRP coming down, maybe these do come down and they can hold it, but I don't know. These are running out of. They're running out of area. Like we're running out of area. Like no matter how I look at it, we're running out of an area here. So if they do what Let's see. So a sweep to the stops. I mean, I could see a $1.34 sweep again. That's not the question. We swept it twice earlier, though. So come back down here. Man, we're really playing with fire here. You know that, don't you, MQ? We are all playing with fire here. Sorry, this hat is... It was to show you what to buy. Like my strategy, if you were, you know, if we implored it. Unless a big buyer comes in, I think that's our only route up. There is no buying pressure from retail. I know. That sucks, Crypto Cooter. I know. That's the problem here. That's why I can't do anything at this spot. Like, I've been asked a lot over the last couple days, like, can I buy here? And it's like, unfortunately, I wish I could tell you yes, but you really can't. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to walk in with your nuts cut off. I wish it wasn't that way, though. Sometimes it kind of makes it annoying, actually. I think everybody can understand that, but... No, I don't know, Frankie, and welcome in, Frankie Fresh. Thanks for being in town. Our 6+ months with the XRP Predictor. I know about clarity, but man, I don't... I have the opposite thinking. I don't think clarity is going to help us. I think it makes things even worse. Because this is supposed to be an unregulated market, so why am I supposed to think that having regulation is going to make this market magically better? I don't know. I just can't do it. What it tells, I feel like they're trying to pull the wool over retail's eyes. Like, hey, let's feed them this clarity stuff. Tell them if we do clarity, everything's going to be fine. But make them forget that this was even an unregulated market. Like that it was supposed to be unregulated by nature, and that's why it moved. All these institutions were coming into this side of town because they liked the fact that it was unregulated. I don't know, this is a very scary time. It's a very scary time in this market. 5 years ago, I would have agreed. But not now. I understand that. That's what you've been conditioned to not. You don't think about that now, Frankie. That's the point. Nothing's changed from 5 years ago except the message you've been seeing all across the TV, all across media. And Janine, if you're watching, thank you so much for you and Frankie Fresh. And Frankie, I hope your hand's doing good. But it's not a good thing. That's why every time I want to be happy about the market, it's like I always have to remember about the Clarity Act. Sailor's calm as a cucumber. He said Bitcoin can go under 10K and they will just refinance and continue to buy. I seen that. I definitely seen that. And thank you, Crypto Cruder, for being in Tom's Iron for over 1 year with the I Told You So Badge, along with It's All an Illusion and the Cannabis Podcast. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And being a mod too, Crypto Cruder. Much love. Agony Trader, thanks for being in Tom's Iron. Second month with us. That was Crypto News. That is in the same pattern right before Uniswap had its move up with the BlackRock news. A lot of other alts are in the same pattern. Yeah, it certainly seems like it. A lot of these. Now, I will say I always look for early movers that are similar within the utility structure, and that's why VeChain right now, or Algo, it was in this same exact descending wedge style, and it actually came below it and it hasn't been able to break back up. It even got rejected right here. Now, I put this little extension out, but that's basically the last resort. Now, are the rest of the market going to do that? Because if they're all going to start doing this, I mean, holy smokes. You want to talk about deception? And I like when they try to trap the people who give analysis too. Because most people aren't looking at it from every angle. So we're looking for the first sign from this market that it's actually switching courses. That's what I like to do when it doesn't seem possible. So if it doesn't go here, then you go to the next angle. Where's the next level down? I personally wish it would just go to 86 cents and clear out that descending triangle drop. But it didn't give me that salvation. In fact, it's going to give me a nightmare because it's probably going to do the old let's get rid of everybody we can along the way. I think the Clarity Act will be the best thing that ever happened to crypto. It'll act as a gunpowder. Regs will cause clarity. Institutions will be clear that they no longer want to trade this market. I 100% agree with that, Crypto Cruda. Yeah, I just don't agree, Frankie Fresh. I just don't agree. I guess, that's why we all differ. I don't agree. I have a different opinion. I think the whole thing for clarity is to have a digital dollar privatized, and then we're going to have to do it through biometrics. I can already see what's happening. That's why they need the Clarity Act. It's all built in it. Yeah, but it's no big deal. That's why we're having a discussion. We all have our own opinion, and we're entitled to them. At the end of the day, we're all wrong because we don't make the rules. So we can, who knows? We don't know how it actually plays out. I do think it can cause a big pump, especially if you want to talk about an exit pump for institutions. And I think that's why there's been such a push for ETFs across the board in the stock market, and why all of a sudden there's been a big push for 24/7 trading in the stock market. Haven't you noticed? So conveniently, right when they regulate this market, they'll all of a sudden make the stock market a 24/7 market, which by design takes collateral and liquidity out of this market. The only reason the government even really likes crypto is because they can do it 24/7 and on a weekend. When they do the reverse repos and repos. Is this a normal thing in crypto where there are liquidity sweeps on? It happens in the stock market all the time too, Mrs. Stott. Does that stop at some point, or will we always battle that on the way? Oh, here's the thing: when you battle it on the way up, you want to see those liquidity sweeps, because if you're in an uptrend and you continue to make higher lows, it's the moment you make a lower low. As long as you're on the way up and you're making higher lows along the way, oh, you're fine. And it's just a sweep, and then you continue up higher. That's the beauty of a bull market, as short as they usually are in crypto. When it's going up, oh baby, you want those liquidity sweeps. 30% up, 15, 20% down, then it goes up 40, back down 20, back up 50, down 30. And it happens so quick, it's like up and down and up, and because it's liquidating every single person trying to get in along the way in the leverage. But the secret is, Mrs. Stott, we need liquidity to move, because there's no value in this market. It's just a bunch of numbers and code. Technically, algo is not a buy. Technically. Like I said, it could have artificially came below, because you want to make sure it breaks back above here and gets to the top side. But technically, if you're saying it's in a channel now, but technically, algo was breaking down of what looked like a descending wedge. And the fact that it looks like it's breaking down, if it doesn't get back above, that's actually a pretty bearish signal, which could invalidate this entire thesis and come right down here to that 728. I would love for it to come down there, because then that fills out the bottom of this actual wider pattern. Something that we've been targeting for a long time here to hit it again. We've already hit that low support twice. We just need a third hit to confirm what we're seeing. Which means that after, eventually, it would sweep all the way back up. And you're looking at least a 300 to 400% move when it starts to finally reverse. Assuming we don't fall apart. Sir James says programmable money was always going to happen for anything being mass adopted. Sovereignty is just as much a fallacy as Satoshi and his vision. Amen to that. There's some wisdom in the comments. Well said, Mr. James. Sir James. Juan, thanks for being in Tanzania for over 1 year. I told you so bad. Says, I believe that is another major drop because the retail is hard. Hardly ever right, and I do not see a widespread sentiment that wick bottom yet. Volume still low as well. Yeah, I know. I get that. And the one thing that does scare me at this level is, I don't know, we got a lot of people calling the bottom right now, and even by traditional bottom senses, it's not technically a bottom. But I don't know. There's a lot of mixed beliefs right now. What's going on in the market? All I know is right now we watch this area, and with no volume, it can show us a descending wedge. But you always, no matter what, even if it looks like a bullish consolidation, until it proves it, you always have to play it bearish. Because we're in a downtrend. It gives you the first feeling where you're like, okay, but we just seen what happened. You see how this is set up? The reason I don't put any stock into this and I expect it to break down is because of what Algo did. Algo had this same setup and it broke down. I mean, it looks exactly the same. If I just took the name out, you wouldn't even know the difference. If I took the name out of XRP and Algo, you wouldn't even know the difference. The only difference is XRP hasn't broke down yet. Looks exactly the same. So, I don't know. Do I like Ondo? I don't hate it. In fact, that's that and, TON, which is the Telegram token, I believe. A lot of people like them. I don't know. I have a very distinct strategy when we do what we need to do. I don't hate it, JC. I'm being honest. Like, I have nothing against it. My voice is starting to crack. I did a live earlier. It's been like cold and hot weather, so I'm a tiny bit stuffy, not sick. Just that's what happens right now in Michigan. But I've already been on the air over 3 hours now today because I had to do a live class earlier. I love it. How do you say all this, but your Facebook posts are all bullish all day? Dude, my Facebook page is not my YouTube page. What do you mean, how can I say all this? I'm not all bullish all the time. Are you kidding me? I'm bullish about the adoption, but when have you seen me say it's going to $10? Most of my posts on Facebook talk about a big drop. You're saying I'm bullish because I'm talking about the technology. I have the people tell me I'm full of shit on Facebook because of the stuff that I share. But it's all true. There's always a lot of adoption stuff. That has nothing to do with price. You're getting your nuts twisted in a vice right now, sir. Like, how about everybody step back and understand? Facebook's more satire, conspiracy, and all of that. Like, what's so hard to understand? It says it right in my profile. I've only been saying it on Facebook since fucking beginning of January that we're going to 86 cents. He's joking. Let's go over my Facebook post real quick. What have I shared today? About 86 cents and what we have to do. I talked about the Ripple partners. This isn't bullish for the price. Nowhere in here does it say the price is going to a gazillion. I say why it's bullish for XRP or the Ledger. Nowhere in this news, just because I think it's a bullish news, it doesn't say XRP is going anywhere. I'm talking about a partnership. Again, this talks about, oh my God, this is urgent. If we don't stay up, it's going farther down. Talked about how Tether, and it is bullish for XRP long term because, why? Because it says, so why is this a full send signal? Read through it. The Tether's adding up gold. Ripple bridged the gap between the UAE and USA. I don't say anything about the price exploding. Everybody says the same thing. I never talk about the price going up in these. I just talk about how it's bullish news for XRP. It's literally all I do. And everybody always complains about it. I never say the price is going to oblivion. Yeah, it's bullish news because that's what I think it is. They had their best year on record, 138% growth. Nowhere in there does it say that we're going up in price, but everybody's like, yeah, the price doesn't, yeah, it's not pumping, you lying piece of shit. I never said anything about the price. I'm talking about what it did. None of this has anything to do with the price, and the only things that I shared about the price is it going down. Like, this is stuff that's happening. I think it's bullish for the ecosystem. It doesn't mean XRP's going up. It means the ecosystem's bullish. That's the funny thing. Nobody ever wants to read. Like, nowhere in there does it ever say that we're going up to gazillion. I say it's bullish for the ecosystem. It's bullish. Bullish does not refer to price. Bullish refers to... I never said the bullish for... What are you talking... Oh, my goodness. Bullish. I'm bullish on the ecosystem. Oh, I see personal attacks. You know, when somebody attacks you personally, it shows how big their nuts are. Yours are about the size of a fucking pea. Are we gonna go down that road? Like, seriously. That's the road we're gonna go down? We always have to do this. Some asshole always has to do this. And you know what? It's on me because I was actually trying to defend myself for no reason. If you don't like it, suck my dick. How about that? Get down on your knees and shine it up for me, sir. Or go do better yourself. How about that? You want to get frisky, get sloppy. Anyhow, back to what we have to talk about. Family-friendly show outside of that. So, with what it's showing right now with no volume, you have to characterize it as this is probably going to break down, even though it's trying to show us a bullish opportunity. But it's breaking down, it looks like. Unless we can get a little volume spike. It's not about minding it. It's just, I firmly believe retail is just, the more I've done this over the years, the less respect I have for most people. I'll be honest, for most of XRP's crowd. I love XRP and I love the community, but most people are idiots. I mean, that's a perfect example. It's not bullish because it doesn't have to do with price. Or it's not bullish news because it's just adoption and institutional demand. Like, are we out of our minds? That absolutely is bullish for the ecosystem. Just because you don't like the way it's worded, that don't matter. Just because you don't like the fact that it has nothing to do with price, that's your own problem. You need to get shot out your ass, sir. If you spent half the time you do bitching about this show and did something productive, you'd be somebody. Instead, you're just some asshole commenting in a chat. Like, honestly, I don't understand. Bizarro world we live in. I'm so mad about this adoption and institutional adoption and the ledger's advancing. I'm so mad at this guy that there's a bridge being built. That I'm going to come out here and call him an idiot. I can't make it up. Can't make it up. Let's see what... Oh, yeah, it hasn't come out yet, though. The Crypto Fear and Greed Index has it. I think that comes out... Actually, it might have. Oh, no, it comes out in 43 minutes because it's not 7. I would imagine it's probably going to go down from 11. I would imagine it probably has to. Because we haven't seen any kind of physical demand at all. This has been pretty bad. Let's see. Oh, man. I see. See, you feed into one, you feed into them all, right? Isn't that the common denominator? Hamburger, you're so emotional that you're not even being accurate on what I just said. That's the embarrassing part. Like, that's what always bothers me. But anyhow, what are you going to do? Let's see. My best insults come after a bong. Hey, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Dude, I don't care if you want bullish news for the price or not. I'm talking about XRP and XDC's ecosystem as much as I am the price. Like, I don't really give a rat's ass what you want. If I cared what you wanted, I'd give you a number and you could call me. I'm not interested. Actually, now I'm going to be even more motivated to post even more stuff. I'm going to go right on after just to post more stuff that pisses you off. How about that? You're going to be my main motivation tonight. I thank you. I really do. I told you people can't hack it. If I would have put that stuff on YouTube, people would flip the hell out. So I said I had to separate it between two different things. I said it right when I started it. Watch what's going to happen. The R3 quarter absolutely changes the game. Of course that's what I'm trying to do. What does it say, dumbass? Like, seriously. Of course that is. What does it say right in the freaking title? Welcome to the chaos. Expect conspiracies, wild theories, and satire. Unfiltered speculation. The serious side, go to fucking YouTube. What does it say? Get off my nuts. How about that? How about you admit that you're full of shit all the time? Like, how about that? How about you read a little bit? It's called reading comprehension. Get off my dick. You know? But that's all I'm going to say to you. That's all I'm going to say to you or anybody else who has anything to say about it. If you don't like it, go. Like, seriously. The fuck you want? What do you think I'm there for? For you to get down on your knees and blow me? That's not why I'm there. That's not even why I'm here. I'm here because I want to do the charts. I want to do the prices. I want to do how to get ahead. Somebody needs the lighter side. Some of you need to get blown. Or do something. Because you take this much too seriously when you come in here and try to insult me personally. Do I come into your house and call you a fucking asshole or an idiot? No. Do I show you respect when you walk in my house? I do. Let's see. Still watching. See if Bitcoin holds this. If not, it breaks down. So we'll see. It's either a head and shoulders. It could be an expanding wedge. But if not, if it breaks past just about 65,000, we'll have a problem. If it breaks past, and you guys will see, I'll stop talking about it, but it'll continue. 65,000. That's when I really see a problem. If we come down below 65,100, that's the problem. And we got really overbought up here in the smaller sense. So we're at this break up or down. And every time we try to get a little momentum, we just don't have the follow through volume. And it forces us to start pushing back through this trend. So we'll see. We'll see it. 30-minute reverse very hard, pushing down. Stochastic definitely reversed in real time. And we'll see if we can line up here. And if it comes down, it can come down quick. So I can't buy in this zone unless it validates a breakout. Otherwise, you're going to get caught up here and you'll be down 7-10% if it doesn't hold. It's just the way it's designed. Let's see Ethereum real quick. Ghost. Down 4.2% right now. And it gave it a little bit of a drop here. I mean, if this is the bearish rejection, it's gonna, I mean, these can happen quick. And since we know the trend is not our friend right now, we could have some serious destruction happen. But, you know. Hi, buddy.
You love me.
Mama's got it. Look.
I got it right here.
Mama's got it, buddy.
Oh, this one, Daddy. That was nice of you.
You want me to do it, Bugs?
That was nice. Oh, you gotta check it out? Oh, Daddy's not done yet. Here, look what Daddy do. What Daddy got? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that would be nice. Okay. Alright, sorry about that. Figured I've been dealing with kids tonight. I might as well go deal with another one. I mean, it looks like it's breaking down. Ethereum don't look good at all. Not at all. Even when I consolidate up, it got a rejection. That's about as firm of a rejection as you're going to look at on that. It's about as firm of a rejection. I don't know if Julie let the cat in or not. I don't think so. Let's see. So Bitcoin's under 67 right now. And it seems like it's just in that same trajectory. Definitely got a downtrending resistance starting here. Interesting. So technically, if this stayed above, it could cut this in like a little bit of a kind of a narrowing channel here a little bit. But that could play us back down here even if it held. I don't know. I don't like this. I just don't like the volume right now. The volume looks so bad. It looks so bad. If you're asking me if you should sell it right now, XRP, you can't. You're stuck within a little bit of a descending wedge that's trying to form. But at the same time, I wouldn't want to have to make that decision right now. Like, that you're in no man's land right now. Because, like, if these break down and it's trying to show signs of pressure and there's no buying pressure and it's just exhausted, because it isn't showing any signs that there's any buyers coming to play right now. So if this breaks down, that's very bad. And I hope in time that it breaks down and fills out that descending triangle to 86 cents. Ultimately, that's what we want. That breakdown fills out. And then we have a wider pattern that we haven't got to get to because, you know, for one reason or another this evening, I didn't able to get to what I want. Mostly my fault. But hey, that'll be part of the growing. Today was not a good live. I let the dark side win today. Oh, and I just realized, too, it's kind of funny. Why don't you just admit you're doing it for the views on Facebook? That's exactly what I said when I first started. I wanted to prove that I could do a satire, conspiracy-style page and get X amount of views to prove that I could do that side of it, too. That's kind of funny that that got thrown in my face. That sounds good. Imagine someone spits in your face and they go, "Don't get mad." That's the equivalent of calling somebody an idiot or an asshole in real time. Let's see. But then again, why get mad? What's the point? Doesn't get across. Platinum, I mean, even platinum, gold, silver, it's had a nice bounce back, but this overtly, to me, is still just a right shoulder until it proves otherwise. Until these prove otherwise, I still see a big head and shoulders pattern, a topping reversal here. I haven't seen anything that changes my mind. Could I be proven wrong? I very well could be if we can break up to new highs, because we've come up pretty freaking far now in gold. And we'll see if it can finish up or if it's just going to... We'll see. Because gold basically at that point we talked about before. I know it's got a little bit of room left, but we're kind of coming down to that area. That very big area of interest. We haven't quite been able to get all the way up there with silver. We've come close a few times. But the one thing I've noticed with silver is that volume portfolio is kind of shifting a little bit here. You're seeing more sell than buy. And that technically on these push-ups after a pull down, that could be showing signs of buying exhaustion here, at least in the short term. But with metals, I mean, it's not as urgent as it is with crypto, because over time, the only way you're gonna have a bad buy is if you buy one of the big pumps that you get suckered in. Like, you wouldn't buy it any other time, and then you see it ran so much that you're like, I just can't possibly miss out now. So that whole thing will work itself out eventually, and we're gonna go much higher. That's got to go much higher in time. It's going to have to go much higher. But it definitely went into a big phase of capitulation. You know, you had buyers coming from everywhere willing to take out a mortgage on their house to buy silver at one point. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. I think that's pretty much everything with VeChain. It's trying to make a decision here. We're either going to have a volatile swing up because it is trying to build these inverse patterns, or this is just a fake out and it's going to break our hearts again. Which, I mean, if you're leaning one direction or another, you can't really lean away from that direction until it proves otherwise. That's the problem with all of this. We're all in the same exact setup. Everything. It's either one grand reversal here, because even like the RSI and the 4-hourly is falling into like a channelish setting, or like a maybe it's falling into a wedge even there too. It's interesting. Definitely be interested to see what happens here in the next 24 hours. Because we're getting it down to the apex zone as well. So it's going to have to make a decision one way or the other. Some things are already out of time. So they're basically straddling right now. But this will be interesting. This will be very, very interesting. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. I really appreciate everybody. 1 like away from 100. Not too bad. Not too bad. Oh, we got 100 likes now. Beautiful. It's good to see. That is good to see. I turned the comments back on. I had to step away from the comments. Let's see. Let's see. You're right, Frankie Fresh. I think I needed that. Soul cleansing in a way. Mrs. Dot, thank you so much for not only being in Tanzania 6+ months with the XRP Predictor, but also the 5 gifted subs. Holy smokes. That is awesome. Just keeping it real. One Rufficon, Thomas James, Manny ISO, all in their first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. And then Jade Lay, second month with the Dusty's Autos Crypto News. Welcome to Tom's Army, and thank you, Mrs. Spot, so much. Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, no, Sir James, I agree with that sentiment. Like, a lot of people don't care what they hold. They say they do. They say they know what they hold, but in a sense, I think today, if anything, proves that nobody really cares about that. You know? What the? Oh, my goodness. $100 donation. Chris, whoa. Holy moly. I almost can't even believe that I see 5 gifted subs when I turn the comments back on for myself, and that big of a super chat. That is unbelievable by the two of you. Chris has issues with the $100 super chat. Don't we all have issues, my brother? Hey, dude, been running by you for years. Always appreciate your dedication. Been watching longer lately. Oh, that's a blessing. After all these years and you're continuing to watch longer, like, whoa, that's the biggest compliment I can get. Because at some point, the manipulation will have to stop and XRP will truly find its price. Thank you. We love all the same coins. Excellent. And thank you so much for that vote of confidence. That is truly unbelievable. Randad, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 4 years with the XRP Phoenix badge. I see you in there too. Jade for Mick's first month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens. Bear Yoga over 1 year now with the I Told You So badge. Knick-knack, welcome in. And let's not forget to give thanks to our Lord and Savior, because we do need to pray for Mighty Marcus. See, that's why getting a little angry about some things people say is just not righteous. Like, that completely ruined the vibe earlier. And that is my bad. I apologize. But we have to remember there's ones like Mighty Marcus and Bearded Viking, as Mighty Marcus is fighting the good fight, that have a lot worse than us. And so what? Someone insults you. Who cares? That's not important. The important thing is we ask for guidance and we pray to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Yahweh, Yahshua, Emmanuel, for Mighty Marcus' safe healing as he fights the good fight for many years now. So, amen. Nope, that wasn't, if you were paying attention, Hamburger, that wasn't, you are not the direction when it started. You just happened to feed into the flame. So, no. That, you got to go back what was happening before. But yeah, it's water under the bridge. It's not even important to me, to be honest. That's just a moment I can look back now and watch. I'm going to have to watch it. I'll watch it back, and then I'm going to have to stomach my own response, which was not professional. But sometimes the rubber band is pulled back so far and then you go, you know, that's what happens sometimes. But it's all good. I'm not hurt by it. Just another opportunity. We all have opportunities. See, nobody knows what you're going through at any given moment. So sometimes, you know, people just don't know. It's all good. There's no offense to you, Hamburger. I actually appreciate having you in here. I appreciate having the other person in here too. That's not even the point. I just don't, you know, there's certain things that, you know, you got to draw the line somewhere so people know where to kind of not step over there. So now next time when someone's going to say something like that, they might think twice. And then if they do say something, well, you know, I know a lot more about people too. Because if I react like that, people are like, okay, well, something's up. And then if they feed into it or they push it, well, then I know who I really don't want to respond to later. We all have our defense. But anyhow, XDC, just so we can be on the same page here. XDC hasn't broken down yet, but it's on the verge here of getting down below this. It is really on the verge at 348. Man, it's pretty crazy what is developing here, though. We got these nice V shapes. We've got a hook, down, another hook. Is this just a fake out because we don't have any volume? Is it trying to break out of this wedge? Is it telling us that there's more to this? Because volume often predicts price, and in lieu of volume, you kind of have to think twice and be like, you know, with all, like, look at XDC's volume, like, for all that droppage. And now it almost makes you want to feel like we've come as low as we can, and then we'll zoom out. But it only takes one big sell candle here, to be honest. 1970 Legend, welcome in, and thanks for being in Town Zone for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. The resident Buckeye, just south of where I'm at. Michigan, who says a Buckeye and Wolverine can't be friends. Although the Big Ten's really making ourselves look good. 3 straight years winning the playoff, winning the national title in football. Michigan, Ohio State, Indiana. I can't think of a 3-year stretch in the Big Ten where we won and it wasn't just Michigan, Ohio State going back and forth when it was another team. So this is we're in uncharted territory for the Big Ten. We're not used to this. Outside of Penn State and Nebraska, you know, getting the one-off. It's a pretty interesting time to be alive in the Big Ten. Nobody definitely would have thought Indiana. But anyhow, it proves if you're well prepared and you know what you're doing, it really don't matter where you're at. My entry points are waiting for the drop. Excellent, Juan. See, that's the progressive way. We got to have that progressive thinking of where can it go and what am I going to do. The worst thing we can do is fear it. We don't want to fear it. But I want to go help Julie because my son wants me to get off of this, and he's about to take his bath, and he's been trying to get me to go over there, and he sounds happy, so I want to go over there and just participate. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate all of you. I think it's been even though it's been a little bumpy during this live, it's been a great live. It's been a great live. We know what we should and should not do, especially myself. I know what not to say. I've already known what not to say, but you know, today was different. Today was different. I think it was a pretty good one. I think it was good. Chris, once again, thank you so much, my friend. I don't even know what to say. That was very, very generous. Very generous. God bless all of you. Mrs. Stott, you as well, and thank you for your generosity. That was unbelievably generous by you and Chris. Thank you so much. Seriously, thank you both so much. Hashtag God wins. Yes, as always, we give all the glory to God, and we give all that negativity to the dark side. Let it leave. Next time I'll bring out my inner Zen. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. One more time before we leave. In through the nose. Out through the mouth.